Hello, this is Professor Bustillo-Booth. Thank you for taking Business 101, Introduction to Business. In the last 11 weeks, we learned quite a bit. First, we discussed the setting in which business now operates, which is really within a global context. And we also discussed how important business ethics and social responsibility is increasingly to stakeholders like employees, customers, and shareholders. Then we discussed starting and growing a business. In those lessons, we talked about legal formations, the importance of small businesses in the US economy, the kinds of skill sets that entrepreneurs would need to have in order to be successful. And then we also discussed the special business formation that is franchising. Then we discussed the three major functions of business, of which operations is a part. And that function is mainly interested in managing quality and competitiveness. Within that function is a subset called human resources, and that is mainly interested in motivating the workforce, as well as managing the human resources to meet organizational goals. We then discussed the importance of the second function, which is marketing. And that is really mainly interested in developing relationships and the different ways that we can create, capture, and communicate value to the customer. And then the last function is that of finance, where we had several units on accounting, financial systems, and money management. To help you appreciate some of the functions of business, particularly around operations, you engaged in a major project called the Secret Shopper activity. In that activity, you research a business, some major trends, some customer profiles, and then you develop a set of metrics or performance standards against which you then observed a business and scored their performance against a Likert scale from 1 to 5, in which 5 was your ideal performance. And then you concluded with a report that then had the findings, the scores, as well as recommendations. It is my hope that even though some of your scores might have been 5s in this case, that you were able to consider that there are still recommendations to be had. So, for example, you may have caught the business on a good day, and that to offer recommendations to help them think about how to maintain peak performance is still appropriate. And I hope that through that activity, you were able to appreciate the complexities of service delivery. Again, that is an operational function. Okay, so now we're at the end of the course. I hope that the readings, Canvas discussions, the in-class discussions if you had me face-to-face, as well as the interactives, quizzes, the secret shopper activity, and ultimately the final, gave you a much wider aperture through which to see business. And that if you have not already taken a class like history, sociology, philosophy, or another kind of humanities course, that you consider putting them in your academic plan. If you do not have room, please be sure to be well read in those subject matters, because it will help you have a multi-dimensional perspective of how business operates. As you may recall, in the first few weeks of business, we talked about social responsibility and how, and even in marketing, and how customers are now increasingly aligning their values with their business choices. And so it'll be important to understand how human beings make sense of their world. And you can learn about that through some of the classes like history, sociology, and the like. And so I encourage you to consider those kinds of classes. Now we are at the end of our journey. And again, I want to thank you for taking Business 101, Introduction to Business. And should you be around campus, I invite you to come say hello to me. Just knock on my door. And I'd love to meet you in person if I have not already. I wish you much luck and prosperity on your academic journey ahead, as well as beyond. Thank you again.